first we had Hill Harper, and now I'm seeing you speak at the Urban League in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that.
I went to this event. It was a convention down in New Orleans. And it was the same exact time as the Bitcoin conference, the same day, literally the same exact moments. And I was like, wow, Trump's about to be presenting in about an hour. And not one person that I've listened to has talked about Bitcoin. The goal is to defeat poverty, right? That is one of the pillars. That is one of the things they talk about all the time, is defeating poverty. So along with voting, along with housing, along with the other multiple things that they do, defeating poverty is one of their main goals. But nobody's talking about how money is evolving. Nobody's talking about Bitcoin. And I'm just like, well, this is
Real world asset tokenization.
correct, nothing. And so I asked a question. I basically said, so if defeating poverty is one of the main goals, why aren't we talking about the evolution of money? Why aren't we talking about Bitcoin? Have we talked about central bank digital currencies? And the president of the National Urban League, he basically said, well, we need people like you to teach us about this stuff. A couple other people on stage, they were saying the same thing. Nobody's talking about it. And we have about 3,000 to 4,000 people in that room. On top of it, we got people that are streaming online, and there's a YouTube channel people are continuously watching, and nobody's talking about it. And literally, I said Trump as well as RFK, 2 of the 3 presidential candidates are speaking about Bitcoin currently, right now, at the Bitcoin conference. For the first time, a major political party candidate in Trump is speaking, and he is literally championing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
My name is CJ Kelly. I'm a CPA, and my job is to follow the money. And as I'm following the money, I'm noticing a new technology called blockchain that allows digital assets to be made, such as Bitcoin. And when I'm looking at that, I'm seeing that President Joe Biden created an executive order for people to educate themselves on it. And this weekend in Nashville, former President Trump as well as RFK are speaking at the Bitcoin conference. And as money is changing, I feel like it's a tool for us to be able to move up, but it's also a tool for them to pull back. So we mentioned Project 2025. In Texas, a lot of that money is being mined through Bitcoin. And the Republicans, as of 2 weeks ago, they just took the whole platform to say that they're, pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto, pro-digital assets. And so my question is, what are we doing to educate ourselves on the change of money? Because money has been one of the most oppressive tools against us this entire time.
I would say thank you for the question. I think what we're doing is listen to what you just said, and now we're going to take this out of this room and we're going to begin to have some conversations.
Does he know everything? No. Does he say everything accurate? No. But he's championing it. We don't know Kamala's stance. We saw that Biden was against it.
Yep.
And I've been trying to explain. I'm part of a group called the Black Bitcoin Billionaires. We have 160,000 people, majority Black, and the vast majority are one-issue voters, because we understand that money has been the biggest tool for oppression in this country since the beginning, because originally we were the money. Think about it. They took us from Africa. We were the money. They said, hey, go to work. They sold us. We were the money. We were greater than money because we actually did work.
We were an income-producing asset.
Correct.
That could be, the asset itself could be sold for value.
Correct.
And the assets had utilitarian value in and of itself. That's crazy.
Correct. And so now we have the ability to get this asset before everybody else. Like we could front run this asset. And if you've ever read the book called Bitcoin in Black America by Isaiah Jackson. Man, like I'm seeing this and I'm like, so the goal is to defeat poverty, and we're not talking about Bitcoin, the best asset class over the last 14 years in history. Think about the first transaction with Bitcoin was 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. 1 Bitcoin today is worth about $58,000. 58, 60, 65, it goes up and down. But to have 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas now just sounds completely insane. Why aren't we teaching people about this? And the reception that I got, what I received was, don't give up on us. like, we'll listen eventually, we'll come around. But it's like this, not one person has reached back out to me. Not one person has done a real follow-up. A couple people may have said, hey, let's talk later, but not one person is like, hey, I really want to learn. And it bothers me because I chose to not go to the Bitcoin conference, to go to the National Urban League conference, to warn them, to ring that bell. And it feels though it's gone on deaf ears. I hope it hasn't. I hope they did their own research, and I hope I planted some seeds. But how it feels is, like you said, if it's a bougie culture and they just don't want to listen to me, I don't know if they see me as bougie. I don't know if they see me as a CPA. I'm not sure. Or maybe they just need to be told from the higher ups. But either way, I went directly to the higher ups. I just haven't heard any response.
Bruh, I'm gonna say it for you. This is one of the reasons why black organizations are not growing at the rate that people feel that they should.
I think the fairer answer is we're not doing enough. That's right. And we don't understand that, currency as we grew up with it and we know it will eventually change. Bitcoin hasn't reached a point that a number of people thought it would by now. There's been, kind of some hiccups there, and there is concern about making something out of nothing, which really is what money has been for a long time. But the reality is, money is still the honey of politics, and it still is the idea of, what you get. So I would suggest that people like yourself who have an understanding, make some noise and get those that don't understand the importance of that down the line and say, listen, we need to be looking at this. Sometimes, particularly if you're young, you feel you don't have the permission to speak out and say you need to be looking at this, but we need to be ringing that bell. So, thank you for that question, brother. Appreciate that.
This is why black organizations like the NAACP, like the Urban League, are in dire straits because they are not keeping up with the times. And when they are not keeping up with the times, they make themselves irrelevant.